some of them. We've got the one that's over Huntsville right now, over Meridianville. That's also rotating again, but no tornado warning. The one over Decatur, also rotating, but no tornado.
This is a tornado warning.
Good evening. It's just after 8:30. I'm David Denton, live in the Stormwatch America Command Center. We have a tornado watch that is in effect for portions of the southeast this evening. We'll get to all that in just a few moments. Right now, we have imminent tornado warnings, tornadoes on the ground in Alabama right now. We believe a tornado may have hit Huntsville, Alabama earlier. Now we have tornado warnings that are affecting northeastern Alabama. The same storm is headed toward Morgan City and Redstone Arsenal, and may have just went through Skyline in northeastern Alabama. Let's get the very latest now as we go to station WHNT in Huntsville, Alabama, and we'll be right back in just a moment. The latest warnings: Jackson, Madison, Marshall, Morgan, Alabama, tornado warning. Bledsoe, Ray, Tennessee, tornado warning. DeKalb, Jackson, Franklin in Alabama and Tennessee, tornado warning. And we'll bring you the very latest warnings as they come in the second they're issued by the National Weather Service. Now to WHNT.
Right out near Crow Mountain. So if you're with us there, this is the area that we're tracking out in this region. We're just bouncing back and forth now. We've got multiple tornado warnings. So we've got this one here that's southeast of Skyline. That's over Maynard Cove, over Kyles and
It appears that we lost our connection there with WHNT. We're working to get that back for you. In the meantime, if you're just joining us, this is continuing coverage of severe weather on Stormwatch America. I'm David Dutton. Thank you for joining us from the Command Center here in Atlanta. And we have tornado warnings in effect right now for Bledsoe and Ray counties in Tennessee. We have tornado warnings in effect right now for Jackson, Madison, Marshall, and Morgan counties in Alabama. We have tornado warnings in effect for Sharkey and Yazoo counties in Mississippi. We have tornado warnings in effect for DeKalb, Jackson in Alabama, and Franklin County, Tennessee. Now, if we can, let's go back to WHNT in Alabama, in Huntsville.
The rain is in Owens Crossroads, by the way, and the hail, but the rotation signature is to the south and west. Rotation signature to the south and west of Owens Crossroads. I'm going to go ahead and scan our CC, which is our debris detector. It's got to co-locate, it's got to match with everything else on the radar. And right now, it's a little muddled, but there is still possibly something trying to wrap up here near Owens Crossroads. So if you're listening to us in Owens Crossroads, you're still in your tornado safe spot right now. As we zoom in a little bit closer here, that wind is still very strong over Rock Spring Road and over Joel Road west of Owens Crossroads. It's going to be moving in shortly. So you've got just a few more minutes, and look at that. I mean, that scan of wind is very strong right now. Just taking a sample here of our wind that's out in this area. We've got wind that's at least up to 70 miles per hour. I just did a couple of quick scans, 65, 70 miles per hour. So if you are not seeing a tornado, you're going to be seeing damaging straight line winds moving through this area. Again, heading right into Owens Crossroads here. All right, just wanted to check off camera with the National Weather Service chat, and I don't have any confirmation for Owens Crossroads, which of course is great news for now, but we still have to be taking this storm seriously as it is showing the rotation, and we do have a big wind signature with that thunderstorm in Owens Crossroads. All right, let's take you back here to north of Hollywood for a moment, because I do want to let you know the latest on this one. This is the storm I was talking about, heading into Fackler. It's still showing a rotation that's going to be moving into Fackler and north of Fackler. There's County Road 45. You're going to see right through this area is where the rotation is right here. It's going to be moving right toward your area right now. So that's where I have the rotation showing up right now. And we're going to go ahead and take a closer look here. Let me get my product back on here, and we'll do a couple of different scans of different things going on. That's the velocity. Let's take a look at our shear rate, our rotation detector. It's all within this area, and then there's the reflectivity. So it's really going to be going right into Fackler right now, just based on the wind signature that I'm seeing. This whole wind, but we're definitely seeing something that's moving into Fackler right now. So make sure that you are still in your safe spot if you have not gotten there already. You want to make sure you're doing it now. Ida, you are still in a confirmed tornado warning. We'll keep you posted on the evolution of this thunderstorm. Right now, if you're in Scottsboro, you're also in a confirmed tornado warning, but I will say some of the worst of it is just to the north of your area. All right, taking a closer look here in Madison County, we have a couple of different storms that are rotating. We'll zoom out just real quickly. I want to see what else is going on here. Do we have anything out in the Franklin County and Lawrence County? We do have some weather that's as well out in Franklin County that's going through Limestone, Madison, a couple of severe again, we have 2 tornado circulations that are happening. A couple of different areas are rotating, a lot of wind shear in the atmosphere tonight. We've got this one that is northeast of Huntsville that's rotating. Look at this one on 72. That's also rotating. This one that just passed through Decatur, now rotating. So all of these at any point could produce a tornado warning. So I want to give you a heads up that if you live in Huntsville, if you live anywhere in the Huntsville metro, Madison, Huntsville, up north the Parkway, south the Parkway, South Huntsville, North Huntsville, just be weather aware for a little while longer. We're going to get you through it. We have multiple areas that are rotating within the thunderstorm. The 2 tornado warnings we're tracking right now are the one that's going into Owens Crossroads, and then the other one that's going through Jackson County right now. Aaron, is there anything can you do a storm cone for us for the, let's go ahead and do a storm cone.
Storm cone on that southern storm. It is moving off
I'm going to step off for a moment while you do that.
East at 30 miles an hour, so it's not moving very quickly, but we will track it off from the area of rotation here in Owens Crossroads at about 30 miles an hour. East-northeast a little bit, and we'll take it to 30 miles an hour here. That'll put it in Woodville at 7:59. That'll put it over towards Goose Pond Colony, 8:21, and Langstown at 8:22. So go ahead and be in your safe place here as this storm continues to track off towards the east as it moves towards the Woodville area. And jumping back and forth between a couple of things here, just looking at our shear rate. Still, the strongest shear rate with this particular storm is near the Owens Crossroads area. So that is where we are seeing the strongest shear rate with that. So a couple of different things going on with these storms across the area. We're just making sure that we are staying on top of all the different storms that are ongoing across the Tennessee Valley this Tuesday evening. Danielle, what's the latest that you're looking at?
I've got the lightning turned back on because we've a lot of that, of course, going on, and where that is still a big threat tonight is going to be that clouds around lightning. So we have all of that turned back on so you can just see how intense these thunderstorms are today for us. And a lot of times when we analyze the radar, we do take the lightning off. So let me step off and grab this clicker back, and you're going to see here that the thunderstorms are dangerous because they are producing not only a lot of lightning, but also that threat of tornadoes. And then on top of that, we've had the large hail out there, 2.5 inches at some points, and then of course the tornadoes. So this is a very messy situation that we're getting ourselves into now because it's dark. And you're not going to be able to, you weren't really able to see a lot earlier, but you're really not going to be able to see anything now. So if you live in Woodville, you're heeding that weather message, you're still in your safe spot. If you're in Owens Crossroads, I know we've been saying it a lot, but Owens Crossroads to New Hope, this is the area that is rotating that we need to make sure that we are seeking shelter for. If you are in Pisgah, circulation is likely going to track to your north, and same thing in Scottsboro for this thunderstorm that's been moving through Skyline and Hollywood. So just a closer look here. The last thing I showed you was Fackler that was likely seeing that area of rotation. So let's check in on this one. And we are still seeing it right up here now north of Fackler. We've got where the strongest couplet is, which is going to be right here. So this could be tightening up a little bit more for us north of Fackler as it moves towards Stevenson. Stevenson, I know I gave you the heads up a few moments ago because I remember saying it, but north of Fackler, that's where you're going to want to make sure that you are in that above or below ground storm shelter. Maybe you're just now tuning in to the television and you're hearing us for the first time. You want to go to that above or below ground safe room, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. You're going to protect yourself from flying debris. And if you have a mattress or a pillow, you can go put that on your head, hard hat, helmet. And then also, if you live in a building that's multi-level, you want to get to the lowest level of your home away from windows because that could be your neighbors, you know, go down to the lowest level. Tornado winds, they pick up as you go up in altitude a little bit. So that's why we always want you to go low, and why you sometimes hear people say lay flat in a ditch, because you want to get as low to the ground as possible. But this thunderstorm rotation is likely going to be crossing right over County Road 155 and 45 in Jackson County. It's going to be headed into Pender Hill and Stevenson. So that's what I'm seeing right now. It's just near and north of Fackler is where the rotation area is right now at its strongest in this part of Jackson County. So that's the latest information I have there. Still continuing with the tornado warning over Crossroads and Woodville. So let's take a closer look here again at this one. You'll see here that we do have Cedar Point and Poplar Ridge in the path of a potential tornado. This is a tornado warning for Jackson County, and it does include those of you in Madison County until 8 p.m. So we still have at least 15 minutes to go for a tornado warning in this area. So Owens Crossroads, we have the strongest of the wind that's just blown through that area. Taking a closer look here at that peach shaded color, that's the strongest of the wind that is likely crossing 431 right now in Owens Crossroads and toward the east, toward Poplar Ridge and Cedar Point. This is the wrap up in the activity product, which is where it shows the rain. Where the rain is heaviest is in the area in red, and then where we see it wrap around right through here, that's what we really have to watch out for. That's what we call the hook echo on a supercell thunderstorm. So that's what we're going to be watching for really closely to see if anything tightens up with that signature. Meanwhile, we've got a thunderstorm that's rotating that's over Lacey Spring again, and we have another area of rotation that's showing up south and west of Madison. That's this one right here. And then heard us mention your county road, your street, your city, your neighborhood, the odds are that you're not in an immediate danger, at least, of a tornado. And often you're getting these alerts on your phone, your NOAA Weather Radio, Live Alert 19 app, and it's telling you that you're in that situation and you need to get to a shelter, whether it's for damaging winds, large hail, or even tornadoes out there tonight. Ray, Aaron, have we checked in on our storm hunters in a while? I know it's dark, so we might want to think about bringing them in. Or have we learned anything about damage? Because are we sending people out to Killingsworth Cove?
Yes, Kayla is on her way right now to Killingsworth Cove, so we are sending her out there. She is in the Gurley area right now, and she will be getting images back to us of some of the damage that has been reported out there over the next several minutes. Danielle.
Okay, thank you. As soon as we get that, guys, if you can, we just let me know. We can double box it. We can keep radar up and then just show some of the damage as well from Killingsworth Cove. I just hate to hear that tonight because I remember we were tracking that and, you know, we saw the debris signature and I remember mentioning that town so many times. So I really hope that there were no injuries or fatalities in that one. All right, so we've got, again, 2 storms that we're tracking. Let's go forth with this one here. This is a tornado warning that continues over New Hope and Owens Crossroads. There's the latest scan. It just crossed 431 through Owens Crossroads. Taking a closer look here once again at our wind velocity, and we're still seeing it. You'll see it here over Owens Crossroads. Just to the east is where it's crossing right now. For this area in County. Have a couple of areas. That one south of New Hope. There's a couple of areas that are rotating. This is our hook echo feature. We've got one area of rotation east of Owens Crossroads, another one that's over New Hope. So there's a couple of different areas in this tornado warned storm that are rotating. It's going to be in a southern eastern Madison County, and then eventually lifting up toward Grant and Woodville. So Woodville for the original circulation, the more southern circulation is going to go over Humpton and then possibly into Grant. It's going to be close though, Grant. So here's Grant, there's and then Humpton, and then we've got another area that's east of Owens Crossroads that's going to go into Poplar Ridge. So we have a couple of different situations going on, and I'm imagining that we're going to get word at some point from the National Weather Service where we're going to get an extension of this tornado warning, especially if we continue to see that tornado circulation going on in this area. Rotating storms are still occurring, so we've got torrential rainfall here back in Huntsville out toward Madison on 565. That storm is also rotating, but there's no immediate danger. We don't see a huge hook echo with that one, but we will let you know if anything changes on that one. And just checking in here, and I just got the Live Alert 19 weather app, Aaron, that said a dangerous storm was approaching my area. So that's a good resource to have like today, because if you have your GPS set and your volume turned on, you can hear it. It'll give you everything, every alert, lightning detection and everything.
Rotating, it's been rotating, broadly rotating.
Right. About this. Watching it. Yeah, so this one's also broadly rotating. So this is the dangerous storm that's approaching your area here in Huntsville. If you just got that alert on the warned, but it is producing hail. So it's producing hail over Huntsville International Airport out toward Madison, right on 565. It's going to move over the Arsenal as well, and likely going to be passing right over Marshall Space Flight Center and continuing toward the east. And so here at Huntsville downtown, Westbury, campus of UAH, we're likely going to be experiencing this torrential rainfall, lightning, and hail core with that one. And if it tightens up, it would tighten up near or south of Madison, because that's where the strongest is right now. It's going to be right here where we have this kind of hook echo feature. There are multiple areas, though, in these thunderstorms that have been rotating tonight, so we will keep a close eye on that one. But we'll take another check here into this signature, which is over New Hope right now, and then it's going to be very close to Grant. So Grant, heads up for you. You are in your storm shelter. You have a tornado warning still in effect. Butler, Mill, and Humpton, here it is. This is going to be where it's crossing next, over southeastern Madison County into northern Marshall County, and then eventually through Woodville and Jackson County. So it's going to be right over the county line right here, 3-county line here, where we're going to have that area of rotation that is likely going to be occurring. Aaron.
This is the boxes from Kayla Smith. She is in that Killingsworth Cove area. The law enforcement is not letting her further down the road right now because they are currently just checking on the situation that is currently ongoing in the Killingsworth Cove area as the storm has just gone through that area.
Okay. All right. So again, Killingsworth Cove, that's the area that has sustained the most damage that we're hearing of so far tonight. There could be other areas that have experienced damage from these tornadoes that have been occurring. We'll keep you updated on that situation tonight, and yeah, she'll get us the latest report on any of those damage areas as we can get that from the emergency officials. So here's our latest scan of the radar. Let's go ahead and take a home view just to put everything in perspective, because I know there is a lot going on tonight. And we'll just check in here with some of these thunderstorms. So we still have thunderstorms occurring here in the Huntsville Metro. We still have thunderstorms in Madison County, in eastern Limestone County, in Jackson County, in Lincoln County, and all of this stuff that you're seeing back off to the west in places like Moulton and Morgan County.
This is David Ettenbeck live in the Stormwatch America Command Center. It is 8:51, and we're live on a Tuesday night from Atlanta with continuing coverage of severe weather for the southeast. We have a tornado watch that's in effect for much of the southeast until early Wednesday. In North Georgia, tornado watch is in effect until 2 a.m. this morning. That may be extended and likely will be extended, as a matter of fact, to include the entire metropolitan Atlanta area a little bit later this evening. In the meantime, we're continuing with these tornado warnings here in Alabama. Right now we have a severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued now for Catoosa, Dade, and Walker counties. A severe thunderstorms was located along a line extending from Orem to Fabulous or near Fackler to Martintown, moving to the east at 45. Again, that's a severe thunderstorm warning for Catoosa, Dade, and Walker counties. Right now, we're still seeing an area of rotation. We are in the mode where we can look for the wind and the possible tornadoes. There's a broad area of rotation here just to the south of Stevenson that is moving into or will be moving into Dade County and the Trenton area here shortly. But before that, it will move through Bridgeport and Shiloh, Alabama. Again, no tornado warning for that area, but it may recycle. This was the storm that possibly produced a large and destructive tornado tonight in the Huntsville, Alabama area, and may have also
There are
hit.
2 new warnings affecting Kentucky and Tennessee.
May have also hit Skyline as well. We have a new tornado warning that is just coming in right now.
This is a tornado warning.
And that new tornado warning is for Cumberland County and Tennessee. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 9 miles west of Rockwood, moving to the east at 35 miles per hour. A new tornado warning that is in effect for another hour is in effect right now for Cumberland County in Tennessee. A storm possibly producing a tornado was near Rockwood, Tennessee, moving to the east at 35.
There is 1 new tornado warning for Alabama.
And they went on ahead and issued a tornado warning now on this storm in south of Stevenson along Highway 72 headed toward Shiloh. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was near Woodville or near Guntersville, moving to the east at 35. Again, that's a tornado warning. DeKalb, Jackson, Madison, and Marshall counties in Alabama for about another hour. We're continuing with these tornado warnings back down in the Scottsboro. From Scottsboro back down to Huntsville, we're seeing storms firing up again. And right now we have a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado here between New Hope and Woodville. It's headed to the east. Scottsboro, Section, Dutton, and Pisgah. If you're in these areas, basement, center part of your house now, away from windows. This is not a confirmed tornado, but you should act quickly and move to shelter right now. This is a tornado warning, and a tornado could drop out of this cloud at any time. So go ahead and evacuate mobile homes, get into a ditch, go to a neighbor. You can't go very far because it's right on you now in the Scottsboro area, between Scottsboro sections, and it's headed toward Dutton and Pisgah here over the next several minutes. A new tornado warning just issued to DeKalb, Jackson, Madison, and Marshall counties in Alabama for the next hour. You're watching us live here on Stormwatch America. I'm David Dutton from the Command Center here in Atlanta on Channel 1 America. This is our continuing coverage of severe weather. We're going to be here all night long to keep you ahead of the storm, as we're expecting these storms to move into and across the metropolitan Atlanta area right around midnight, maybe a little bit after. but we're covering the entire southeast right now, including here in northeastern Alabama, where we have a new tornado warning that was just issued for DeKalb, Jackson, Madison, and Marshall counties. And this is headed towards Scottsboro, Langston, Section, and Dutton here over the next several minutes. If you lived in any of those areas I just called out, basement, center part of your house, away from windows, and you'll be fine. You do not need to be in a mobile home. If you're listening to this while driving on YouTube, you can find now that we're going to go to a special report now from WSB TV in Atlanta.
Listening to our messaging
our
and
protections
staying in your
and
storm
what this
shelters.
country
That you guys know that this is still
I was really
a situation
humbled
that
by how
bears
much of
watching.
history I'd forgotten. Everyone really needs to take this course.
To start your journey discovering the Constitution free of charge, go to learnfromhillsdale.org today.
Potentially could impact parts of Chattooga County within the hour. So the threat's going to be increasing for northwest Georgia over the next 45 minutes to an hour. And the broken line of strong and severe storms back towards the west will be moving in as we head into the night. Here's the plan. I'll have updates top and bottom of the hour approximately right on through the evening. But if a tornado warning is issued for one of our counties, I'll bring that to you live immediately.
Let's do an A.
Okay, that was the very latest from WSB TV in Atlanta. A quick update on the threat of severe weather here in Atlanta. A little bit later on this evening. It's just before 9 o'clock, and we're live from Atlanta with continuing coverage of severe weather all night long. Thank you for joining us. I'm David Dutton here in the command center. We currently have tornado warnings in effect for DeKalb, Jackson, Madison, and Marshall counties in Alabama. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was near Woodville, moving to the east at 35. That's this storm right in here, and it's headed toward Scottsboro, Section, and Dutton here over the next several minutes. So if you live in Scottsboro, Section, Langston, and Dutton, you need to move to a basement or center part of your house immediately. Get away from windows, get in the bathtub, put a twin-size mattress over you, some blankets, pillows, whatever you have. Get the helmets for the kids. Make sure everyone has their shoes on. You should have already charged your phone by now. You can continue to watch us while you are hunkered down in your tornado shelter. But again, just remain calm, and you should be fine. Again, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was near Woodville or near Guntersville, moving east at 35, and it will be headed toward areas along Guntersville Lake, Highway 279, Scottsboro, sections, Highway 35, Dutton, Aspel, Highway 79. Again, this is a rural area of Alabama, but we have some small towns here. And if there's one person in these towns, we are going to cover it live because every life is fragile. But we're trying to see, as our radar updates here, we have a little bit more. We have New Hope, Lakeview Shores, Radsville Subdivision, Willow Chase, Goose Pond, Roseberry, The Meadows, July Mountain, North Salty Refuge. These are areas in the path of this possible tornado that could drop out of the clouds at any time, so please
There
take
is one
shelter
new
now.
tornado warning for Tennessee.
We have another tornado warning just coming in right now, and let's go to that live.
This is a tornado warning.
And we have a new tornado warning coming in right now for Tennessee. And this is going to be for Cumberland, Van Buren counties. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was near Spencer, moving to the east at 40. Again, a new tornado warning in effect in Tennessee for Cumberland and Van Buren counties. We're continuing with a severe thunderstorm warning in Georgia for Catoosa, Dade, and Walker counties for about another 25 minutes. If you live in far northwestern Georgia, a severe thunderstorm, we're located along a line from Orem to Fabulous or near Fackler to Martintown, moving east at 45. A tornado is possible with these storms. So, again, a tornado watch is in effect for northern Georgia. It does not include the immediate metropolitan Atlanta area, but it does include Cherokee County in metro Atlanta until 2 a.m. Wednesday. And we're expecting this watch to be extended a little bit further toward the south and
There is one
east
new tornado warning for Louisiana.
as the evening goes on.
This is a tornado warning.
And a new tornado warning coming in right now
There is one new tornado warning for Tennessee.
for Grant County in Louisiana. Severe thunderstorm capable producing a tornado is near Boyce, moving southeast at 15. And for Brazos County in Tennessee, severe thunderstorm capable producing a tornado is near Spencer, moving to the east at 35 miles per hour. So if you're in any of those locations that were just called out, please take shelter now. Again, we're watching a tornado warning right now on your radar here in DeKalb, Jackson, Madison, and Marshall counties. We're in the Guntersville area, and it's moving to the east, headed toward Lakeview Shores in a few minutes. Hodge, Lakeshore Drive subdivision, Chisholm Hill Hall subdivision section, Dutton. This is Highway 67, Highway 40. Highway 40, the Sam Gant subdivision, Veterans Drive, The Meadows, Roseberry, Willow Chase, the peninsula at Goose Pond, Highway 71. If I just mention any of those areas in Alabama, you need to take shelter immediately. A tornado may be developing, headed your way. We could also get some ping-pong sized hail out of this storm. Very dangerous storm. Other tornado warnings continue just south of Huntsville, headed toward Gurley and New Hope and Woodville here over the next several minutes. You had
There is one new tornado warning for Alabama.
And a new tornado warning just being issued right now.
This is a tornado warning.
And this tornado warning is for Jackson, Madison, and Morgan counties in Alabama for about 25 minutes. A severe thunderstorm was near Redstone Arsenal, moving to the east at 45. Again, there is a tornado warning for Jackson, Madison, and Morgan counties. This one is near Redstone Arsenal, moving to the east at 45. Currently, we have 8 tornado warnings in effect right now, and 6 of them have been issued just in the last 10 minutes. So it's getting very active here. Actually, the most active we've seen all day, and especially this evening. Again, we may have had a large destructive tornado come through the Huntsville, Alabama area, and unfortunately, you're getting storms again, and those will be headed toward Scottsboro as well. You're having a storm now. Another one is coming right behind it, as you can see here. So, again, if you're up under a tornado warning, you should seek shelter in a basement or center part of your house away from windows. You need to evacuate mobile homes. Go to a storm pit if you have one. If not, take blankets and pillows. Go to center part of your house, in the bathtub. Cover yourself up. Helmets for the kids. Make sure everyone has shoes on, and you should be fine. Again, it sounds like overly overdone, but some of the pictures I've seen, especially out of London, Kentucky, here
There
over
is
the last.
one new severe thunderstorm warning for Kentucky.
Speaking of Kentucky, is severe up there again today in the London, Kentucky area, after they just had possibly as many as 20 people die in a tornado earlier this week up there. They're getting it again. Thankfully, haven't seen anything quite as severe as we had the other day, but severe nonetheless. And it's something they don't need. Anxiety is real high. Storm anxiety is real high. And it's kind of, when you go through something like that and you get one right after the other, it's kind of like it's happening again, and it is, but not exactly the same thing in the same areas. So we'll keep you updated on that, and we'll keep you updated on all the storms that are happening into and across the southeast this evening from Kentucky all the way down into northern Georgia. Let's look at the regular radar here for a moment and look at these storms in northeast Alabama. As you see, you have a line of thunderstorms, strong to severe thunderstorms right now from just west of Trenton, Georgia, down to Scottsboro to New Hope, south of Huntsville, over to Hartselle, and just south of Moulton and near Coleman. These are moving to the east at about 35 miles per hour. This is continuing coverage of severe weather on Stormwatch America. Good evening. It is 9:08. We're live from Atlanta. I'm David Dutton in the Stormwatch America Command Center. Tornado watch is in effect for a good chunk of the southeast until early Wednesday. In North Georgia, the tornado watch is in effect for areas just north of Atlanta, north of I-20, until 2 a.m. Wednesday morning. Again, the most severe storms we see right now are in northeastern Alabama, headed into far northwestern Georgia. So if I lived in Trenton, Lafayette, Dalton, Resaca, Calhoun, Adairsville, Rome, and Pennville, you're under a tornado watch for a reason. And be very wary of these storms back off to your west. Let's look at another source here so we can see what's coming in the coming hours, show you what's coming for the seeing strong rotation now.
There is one new tornado warning for Tennessee.
Strong rotation now just southeast of Huntsville near the New Hope area, headed toward Langston and areas along Highway 72 just south of Scottsboro in just a few moments. Again, that's a confirmed tornado now. Areas between Scottsboro and Langston, confirmed tornado on the ground near New Hope, headed to the east at 35.
This is a tornado warning.
A lot's happening right now. We have a new tornado warning in effect for McMinn, Meigs, and Ray counties. In Tennessee, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing...
There is one new severe thunderstorm warning for Tennessee.
Capable of producing a tornado was near Dayton, moving to the northeast at 40. Again, a tornado warning is in effect for McMinn, Meigs, and Ray counties in Tennessee for
There is
about...
one new severe thunderstorm warning for Mississippi.
And this is in effect for the next hour. This will be the tornado that's in Dayton, Tennessee. Has that hook on it. And it's headed toward, I believe that was Decatur, Tennessee here over the next few minutes. Again, you're looking at the southeast right now.
There is one new severe thunderstorm warning for Alabama.
And you're seeing a line of strong to severe thunderstorms from Knoxville, Tennessee, down the Appalachians through northern Alabama, down to Jackson, Mississippi, and Alexandria, Louisiana is out ahead of a very strong cold front that is moving into and across the southeast this evening. Okay, we have, we're looking at a picture right now live of a possible tornado. I believe this is going to be, according to the radar anyway, it's just south of Scottsboro. This is a live camera we're looking at of areas just to the south of Scottsboro. And if we can, let's see if we can bring this up for you. Give me 1 second. And again, it's already dark outside, so it's kind of hard to see these at night. The only way we're able to see these is because of the lightning. Lots of lightning right now in northeastern Alabama, by the way. And we will have this pulled up for you here in 1 second. There appears to be a tornado off in the distance here. We're looking at a camera from Scottsboro, Alabama. This is Fox Weather.
So maybe that's a good development, a good movement forward, but I still think that we have a tornado
let's go to them live
that
for
is
just
on
a
the
moment.
ground heading out towards Section, Alabama, eventually towards Sylvania, Alabama, Henniger, Alabama as well. We've got a decent amount of hail as well associated with this, 1.5 inches. Rain rates shy of 4 inches per hour, so some isolated flash flooding I think is definitely a concern here as well. Thankfully the flash flooding will be north of where this rotation is located, but wow, this is quite the scenario for portions of southern Huntsville. It's about 15, 16, 22-ish miles or so. Looks like there's still some lowering here. You're kind of watching it evolve. This camera's looking due west, so staring at this, but eventually it's going to move away from this camera, but I still think we have a good view at it.
This is a tornado warning.
This camera, it feels like there's probably a couple of news outlets monitoring this.
We have a new tornado warning now in Georgia. This is in northwestern Georgia's Dade and Walker counties. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was near Ider, 12 miles southwest of Trenton, moving to the east at 25. Again, a new tornado warning is in effect now.
There is one new severe thunderstorm warning for Tennessee.
For Georgia's Dade and Walker counties, tornado is 12 miles, a possible tornado, 12 miles southwest of Trenton, moving to the east at 25. So using the Huntsville radar, we will go over here, and this is the storm here back in Ider. And it's headed toward the east for southern Dade County and western Walker County. We're continuing to monitor that camera. If we see anything again, we'll let you know in the Scottsboro, Alabama area. As a matter of fact, let me at least pull up the audio on that right quick. Hang on.
Of Huntsville. Fox Weather Live, we'll be right back.
Okay, if they went to commercial, it's 9:16 Eastern time, and we'll go back to that in a moment if we can. Apparently, our radar has stopped for a moment. We're working on that, but right now we have a possible tornado near Ider, Alabama, moving to the east into far northwestern Georgia's southern Dade and western Walker County. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was near Ider, moving to the 12 miles southwest of Trenton, moved to the east at 25. This is our first tornado warning in Georgia today. We're continuing with tornado warnings back in Alabama as well for the Scottsboro area and the Huntsville area. So after we go through this in Trenton and just west of Lafayette, we have two more right behind it. Supercell thunderstorms, hook echoes, strong rotation that we will have to go through as we continue here over the next several hours. This is an event that's going to continue throughout the evening and into the overnight hours. The threat will come into the metropolitan Atlanta area somewhere around the midnight hour. A tornado watch is in effect for North Georgia, north of Metro Atlanta, north of I-20. This includes sorry about that. We're trying to do several things here at one time. The tornado watch includes Cherokee County and Metro Atlanta. And the rest of northern Georgia. We will likely see this tornado watch expand southward here over the next couple of hours. But right now the tornado watch is in effect for northern Georgia, including Cherokee County and Metro Atlanta, until 2 a.m. Oh, let's see, we're having a few technical difficulties. Let's see if we can bring this back one more time. There we go. I think we got it. Okay. All right, we are continuing with a tornado warning in Dade and Walker counties in far northwestern Georgia. A possible tornado was just to the southwest, about 12 miles of Trenton in Ider, Alabama, and it's headed off to the east at about, I think that was 25 miles an hour. We can see the rotation right here continuing just south of, or right over Beulah right now. If you're in Beulah, Deerhead Cove, Alabama, Rising Farm, Georgia, Interstate 59, Plum Nelly, areas to the south of Trenton. You need to seek shelter now in the center part of your house, away from windows. A tornado may be headed your way. Again, this is in northwestern Georgia's Dade County and Walker County, really for the southern half of Dade County, and the western half of Walker County is in imminent danger of a possible tornado. You need to seek shelter immediately. Let's see if we can get some more locations on this. Some other locations in the path of this tornado include Cloudland Canyon State Park, Cooper Heights, and Rising Fawn. Again, this is for Dade and Walker counties in northwestern Georgia. Our first tornado warning in Georgia for the day, which unfortunately it looks like we may have more before the night is over. If you're going to be going to bed soon, the threat of a tornado, I believe, will continue, although will be diminishing in coverage and intensity after it passes the Atlanta metro area, but still a chance in the immediate metropolitan Atlanta area till at least 2. So if you're going to bed, yes, the threat will continue from Atlanta south and east into the mid to late overnight hours into early Wednesday. So make sure you have your phones charged tonight.
There is one new severe thunderstorm warning for Kentucky.
Have ways to get alerts. Have your emergency alerts on your phone. Check your settings on your phone. Go to notifications, and you'll see the government emergency alerts there. Includes Amber Alerts and tornado warnings. You can always turn them on now, and you can always turn them back off in the morning after this event is over. I know some of you don't like getting woke up in the middle of the night because of an Amber Alert. Seems like we have them at 3 and 3:30 randomly here, but tonight you need to have it on to get possible tornado warnings. If there's a tornado in your area, in your specific area, it will go off for your phone. Right now we're seeing a hook echo right around Sections. It's headed towards Sylvania, Henniker, and Rainsville. Sylvania appears to be in the path, right in the direct path of this. So if you live in Sylvania, Hancock Crossings, Langston Powell, Bowen Crossroads, you need to seek shelter now. Basement, center part of your house, away from windows. Evacuate mobile homes quickly. Go over to a neighbor's house. If you're in a car, do not park up under a bridge. And we're continuing with the tornado warning for Dade and Walker counties in Georgia for about another 37 minutes. This storm you're looking here appears that the rotation has intensified again along the Georgia-Alabama state line. And again, this is a rural area, but nonetheless, there are people living out here along Highway 134, Highway 27. Again, we're in northwest Georgia, northeastern Alabama. Tunnel Hill, I-75. You're currently not up under the tornado warning, but that may change as we go over the next several minutes. And that rotation appears to be strengthening now along the Georgia-Alabama state line near Interstate 59, just south of Trenton, Georgia. Right now, we're watching a possible tornado near Section, Alabama, south of Scottsboro, headed for Denton and Sylvania and Powell here over the next several minutes. Take cover immediately. Rainsville, Pisgah, Hanger, all take cover now. There are more severe thunderstorms behind that. Hopefully it won't continue hitting the same areas. And one thing about these tornado and severe thunderstorms hitting the same areas is setting up a train effect temporarily, and you could end up getting some flash flooding in the Scottsboro and Huntsville areas. So be aware of that. Right now is not a good time.
There is one new tornado warning for Alabama.
To go out and look for damage. It's very dangerous right now. Trees and power lines could be down. New tornado warning coming in right now. The storm watch.
This is a tornado warning.
There are 2 warnings affecting Kentucky at 17.
And a new tornado warning continues, or been updated here for DeKalb and Jackson counties in Alabama. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was near Ida, or 8 miles southwest of Trenton, moving to the east at 25. This was a storm that was warned for Dade and Walker County, and they have added DeKalb and Jackson County in Alabama. This is basically along the Georgia-Alabama state line. One thing I do need to mention that I forgot to, and it's very important, if you get weather information from NOAA Weather Radio, unfortunately, on a day like today. 99.9% of the time, they're very dependable, but not today in Birmingham, Alabama. The Birmingham, Alabama National Weather Service is basically down for a software upgrade. I believe Peachtree City got one earlier this week, updating the NOAA weather radios, so they will be out for the rest of the evening during this event. They've been out all day. And matter of fact, the entire Birmingham National Weather Service is down. So your warnings right now that are being issued in north and central Alabama are actually coming from Peachtree City, Georgia, just south of Atlanta. So they're very busy right now issuing warnings for Tuesday and Georgia. They're covering north and central Alabama and north and central Georgia, of course, and except for the far northern areas of Alabama, of course, that's covered by Huntsville. We have another update from WSB TV. Let's go there live.
In less than an hour, the potential is there that a tornado warning would be issued for this storm into parts of northwest Georgia, possibly for Chattooga County if this holds together, and it looks like it will in less than an hour. So I'm going to continue to monitor this. You can see all the lightning with this, indicative of a strong updraft within these storms, some large hail as well. So the tornado threat increasing for northwest Georgia over the next hour or so, and this whole line will be moving in and through the metro area into the night. So here's the plan. I have another scheduled update coming up towards the top of the hour, but immediately if a tornado warning is issued for part of our area, that's Chattooga County to the east and to the south and across metro Atlanta, if tornado warning is issued for our area, I'll bring that to you immediately live here on Channel 2.
What did you wager, Roger?
That was the latest from WSB. That's Brad Nitz, WSB TV in Atlanta. We have a variety of sources from all over, TV and radio from all over the country, news and weather. We try to bring a snippet or two from those when we can. Speaking of a snippet, we are going to go over in just a moment the Fox weather. And they're looking at that camera at Scottsboro, Alabama again. If you just joined us, Brad over at WSB was saying, heads up if you live in Chattooga County, Georgia, in about 45 minutes, you could be put up under a tornado warning from this cluster of severe thunderstorms, possibly producing tornadoes in the Huntsville, Scottsboro area. Will be headed your way here within the hour. We'll be right back in a moment. Let's switch over to Fox weather for a couple of moments as we take a look at this storm in Huntsville, Alabama, live.
Seeking. Those will be hard on the problem.
That was spotter confirmed, and honestly, I would venture to say Fox weather confirmed with what we had on the Scottsboro, Alabama camera. It did look a little bit less so as we watched that camera progress over the last 20 minutes or so when that first funnel or tornado did appear. But we still have a few more tornado warnings. I want to jump up towards Knoxville, Tennessee really quickly because they are now under a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag on it, with multiple tornado warnings sort of flanking.
This just in, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning coming in for Georgia, Catoosa, Dade, Walker, and Whitfield. Severe thunderstorm over Rising Fawn or near south of Trenton, moving east at 25. Again, new severe thunderstorm warning for Georgia, Catoosa, Dade, Walker, and Whitfield. Tornado warning continuing for DeKalb and Jackson counties in Alabama and for Dade and Walker counties in Georgia. Storm near Ider or near south of Trenton, moving east at 25, possibly capable of producing a tornado. Take shelter now.
See with the different radar, the one that actually is still at play for us. You have to be careful in these radar sites because you hand off based upon where you move. So the velocity near Harriman, it seems like we've got a couplet here, right to the north and northeast of I-40, south of Oakdale, but looks like it's right through Harriman, and that is moving probably due east at that and towards Knoxville. Continues to stay strong. Knoxville, you could potentially have a tornado overhead. For now, that's not the case. It's not confirmed, and I'm not ready to say that this is a confirmation on my end yet either, but if that does change, I'll be sure to let you know. For Knoxville, you're about to get smacked with wind and hail. Not the biggest hailstones we've seen from the day, those being over 2 inches in diameter, close to 3 inches for the day, but Knoxville 1 inch, 60-mile-an-hour winds, and the chance of seeing an isolated tornado is definitely pretty dangerous. I'm going to head up towards London now because London, Kentucky has a tornado possible tag near them, and they had a very damaging tornado that came through a few days ago and unfortunately caused loss of life. And so it's that storm fatigue, maybe storm anxiety that's going on. So let's go ahead and see what's going on in London. And honestly, I really hope that nothing is. And right now, I don't see any rotation that's being indicated on the radar.
Let's switch over
It
now
looks like this
to
is probably just a very,
WHNT
powerful wind system.
in
If
Huntsville,
anything,
Alabama. As
the
their live team
possible,
coverage
I could see it
continues
right
on the
here,
severe weather outbreak
as a
this
possibility.
evening
So north
across
of
the
London, I think London
southeast.
right
You're
now
watching
you're
it
in
live
that
on
RFD, so
Stormwatch
that the
America.
push of
Stay
wind
with
and
us.
rain and maybe hail, but not necessarily where the rotation is at. For North Corbin, potentially a little rotation here. Also tornado possible. And then we jump down to this other guy. Let's see if I can get the reflectivity to pick up on this. Yeah, so the one for Pine Knot and out towards Saxton, not tour possible, but unfortunately Flint do have tornado possible tags. For the hail, let's see what the radar's picking up on, not much. So I think maybe too, the National Weather Service out of this region is probably warning this, so folks in London are well aware, especially with debris still on the ground. This happened. This is a fresh wound for folks in London, and so even small gusts of winds of 40 miles per hour, not even severe, can pick up pretty dangerous debris. You could have nails, wood chips, you name it. And so for London, Kentucky, we need to make sure that we're indoors, staying hunkered down for the rest of the night. On the flip side of this, the positive thing is that it's the last push. So London, once this goes through, you're in the clear. Same for spots like Knoxville. Huntsville, Alabama, you're in this weird spot. So I hesitate to say that you're in the clear once this clears out because you have a few storms that are backfilling. Because what's happening, and let's see if I can kind of paint a better picture on a wider end. Let me go back 6 hours or so before the sun goes down. So what you're seeing, and I'm just pausing this loop, we have a low that's right over northern Missouri and southern portions of Iowa. And so what's happening is you're getting this frontal boundary, this cold front that's sort of sweeping in here. We had a warm front, I'll use the orange, that's kind of going this way, generally speaking. And so it's this area around the low. We had a few confirmed tornado warnings in this spot of Illinois, and that's because of the extra oomph that you get with a surface low, but then associated with that low pressure is what's causing all of this. But with a frontal boundary, you can see how it kind of digs, and so spots like Huntsville, you're seeing that digging, but unfortunately it's setting up right over top for a few hours, and you're also set up in a zone that's prime to see tornado potential right now. Nashville, you had some strong storms come through, you're done, but you have some flash flooding through 9:30. Time right now is 8:30, so about another hour. Nashville, I know you always like to have a good time. Music City, I can understand that, but it's going to be a bit of a hassle getting to and from where you want to go over the next few days. Unfortunately, again, for Huntsville, we had that confirmed tornado. They're not driving it, but they do have radar on high top. So on Sand Mountain, no more radar. It's knocked out, so that could be from winds, could be from a potential tornado that came through. We had multiple tornado debris signatures. We have seen trees down, so potentially some storm reports coming in. Let me throw on storm reports and see if we have anything. It takes some time for these reports to come in, and clearly the National Weather Service is very, very busy, so no fault to them. For Huntsville, stone as well had to deal with today. Those are rain rates, so 1.75 inches per hour. Let's see if I can actually get the hailstone LSR. Okay, so for Madison, they had 1.25 inches. That was spotter reported, so $half size hail. That was about an hour, 2 hours ago. Out towards Athens, you had reports of potentially a funnel cloud, if not a tornado. A lot of video coming out of Athens there as well. Jumping further north into Tennessee, let's see if there's anything closer to Knoxville. So in Lantana, Crossville, this is that cell that producing tornado warnings, not necessarily a tornado, but let's see what Crossville has to say about damage. Multiple trees down, Putnam County, and then Crossville structure damage was reported, and then obviously we have some hail reports with the stronger updraft, 1 inch, so golf ball size hail on Burgess Road. So a lot of moving parts, a lot going on. We still have that Scottsboro, Alabama camera going on live below me, and that is where we probably saw a stovepipe or an elephant trunk type tornado that rolled through about 30 minutes south of Scottsboro about 30 minutes ago. Where are some of these other storms? Let me just get my bearings. We've been very hyper-fixated on one region, Huntsville, and no surprise why. But let's see if we have anything else. Some storms rolling in through Alexandria, Natchez, Mississippi, larger hail associated with this, 60-mile-an-hour winds. That's going to be moving south. So Centerville, Macomb, Brookhaven, 55-mile or I-55, that's where you've got some stronger storms. At this point, this storm in Yazoo City, it had a chance at producing a tornado. We spoke to Brandon Kopic and Corey Gherkin. That's really not a good potential with this very outflow dominant cold air sort of sinking into this region. The hope is that going into the evening, we are going to get more of this nocturnal stabilization and the threat for severe weather will start to dial back. But speaking of severe storms, let's talk about what we could see tomorrow. I'm going to jump into tomorrow's threat zone much better if you compare it to today. We have a level 1 out of 5 threat for severe storms for spots like Appalachia down towards the I-95 and into North Florida. Big threats for that, going to be damaging wind and a few tornadoes possible. Where the tornadoes are most possible, it's going to be in this general region. So I would say Raleigh, Richmond, and towards Appalachia. The frontal boundary also interacting with the mountains are going to create some heavy rainfall as well, so some isolated flash flooding ruled out. We'll see some morning convection. That'll be pretty spotty, but things are really going to kick up going into the afternoon. Atlanta, I think a lot of this is away from you, so no big concerns for Atlanta, especially as we get closer to the holiday weekend, being Memorial Day, potentially some folks already getting some early travel in or took the entire week off. We'll get some storms near the Outer Banks by 10 and last little push of storms through western Tennessee, northeastern Arkansas, southern Missouri, north Mississippi, north Alabama. So you're not quite done with your severe weather threat going into Wednesday overnight, Thursday morning. That's very marginal, no bigger concerns there. For Nashville over the next 3 days, the sun at the end of the tunnel, okay? 81 and sunny on Wednesday, 59 partly cloudy, so things will get better going into the weekend. Same can't necessarily be said for the Northeast. We'll be talking about a potential nor'easter going into Thursday for portions of New England. Fox Weather Live will be right back in just a few moments as we continue to track out the southeastern storm threat, as we're still giving you that live look into Scottsboro, Alabama, where at one point it looked like we had a confirmed tornado on the ground and on this shot.
The poverty is unimaginable. There are people who are struggling.
This is where she washes the dishes.
If you're ever going to allow your Christian faith to rise and to do something for God's chosen people, now is the time.
This is the home of Galina. She's 96 years old.
This is what she had to eat for today.
She has one pot with water and wheat.
My father was killed by the Nazis, and I was an orphan. I didn't know about God. But now, in the cold, hungry nights, I pray for food to the God I've never known. There are good people that love you.
You see the tears. Scripture says joy can come in the morning, and you can be the reason.
If you will bless these hurting children of Israel, you will receive God's blessing in return. Your urgent gift today of $25 will help rush a survival food box filled with life-saving essentials. If you call right now, your gift's impact will be doubled to help save lives. Call, scan, or go online now.
I'm not exaggerating when I tell you, I don't know how much longer she could have waited for us to come.
I can't even grow my food anymore. What will happen to me?
Tens of thousands of elderly Holocaust survivors in the former Soviet Union are living in extreme poverty, hungry, and forgotten. But through the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, we can bring them hope.
Eggs. It's my favorite food. May you be blessed.
You say to them, we see you and we're here to help.
If you call right now, your gift's impact will be doubled to help save lives.
Hi friends, Richard Karn here. Now I'm known as the guy who can fix just about anything, but the technology in most appliances requires very special training to fix. And that's why my family has Choice Home Warranty.
Choice Home Warranty covers over 25 major home systems and appliances. That's your AC, heating, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and so much more.
Imagine for less than a cup of coffee a day, Choice Home Warranty can help protect you from expensive major system and appliance breakdowns that your homeowner's insurance doesn't cover.
Call Choice Home Warranty now and get access to a nationwide network of over 15,000 technicians and the latest appointment setting technology so you'll know when they're on their way.
So, do what this old DIYer did and call Choice Home Warranty now before something breaks down.
For your heating, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and more. Call for your free quote today. Call in the next 5 minutes and get your first month 800-393-0726. 800-393-0726.
Welcome back into Fox Weather Live. Take a look at your screen. This happened about 30 minutes ago, maybe up to 45, where it looks like we had a tornado captured on camera. This is in Scottsboro, Alabama, looking west. And I'm going to try and draw on this for you. This is the apparent funnel to me. Now, is it a tornado? Is it not? Hard to say. It just depends on what the National Weather Service comes out with. In Alabama, especially in this area, very mountainous, and so but classic towards the end of that kind of falls out this way. It was confirmed at the time, spotter confirmed, and then later on that camera, it looked like we had a secondary area sort of coming in with a little bit of a funnel, but not necessarily what I would call a confirmed tornado. But it's been a very active night for storms in North Alabama. They unfortunately lost their radar site on Sand Mountain, the high top radar, so not very good pictures for the last little bit, but thankfully it seems like the atmosphere is starting to stabilize a little bit more. Still tornado watches in place for Alabama, Tennessee, Indiana, Kentucky till 10 p.m. Central Time, so still a little ways to go for you guys. Be sure to stay weather aware over the next few hours, and we'll be tracking out more severe storms going into Wednesday as well. Level 1 out of 5, so we're finally going to get that breather we desperately need. And the peak of severe weather season is playing out in a dramatic fashion. Today marks the 7th day of continuous severe weather raking the nation. More than 1,400 severe thunderstorm warnings spanning nearly 36 states, nearly the entire eastern half of the country. So let's wrap up this past week of weather. We start off on May 14th, and this was an area a bit further north into locations like Nebraska Plains. Pretty classic here. You can see landspout tornado on Wednesday, level 2 out of 5 threat for severe storms with over 100 severe weather reports. This was the early onset of an intense next week ahead.
That's so cool. I have it on.
And that ghostly twister spinning near North Platte, Nebraska. That's a bit further west along I-80, away from Lincoln and from Omaha. And you can see the lanes as a low pressure was moving out of the Rockies and then intensified going into May 15th, where we had some extensive threats for tornadoes as well as damaging wind and hail. You can see some of the top wind reports going out of that day, 79 miles per hour out of Gardner, Illinois. And so as those storms advanced eastward, it walloped a large portion of the upper Midwest. Take a listen to this. A resident capturing this classic-looking twister just east of Minneapolis. As the arc of supercell shifted east, this powerful EF3 tornado ripped through Juneau, Wisconsin. Now, it's not unusual to have tornadoes this far north, but we're typically in derecho country, truly, when you head in that general direction. We had a level 3 out of 5 threat for severe storms with over 370 severe weather reports. It wasn't just Juneau. We had multiple tornado reports sort of scouring around and again, the wind, the hail, the tornadoes, all of it kind of coincided to such an intense day of severe weather. We then move on to the deadliest day of the week. Tracking 7 long supercell south, level 4 out of 5 threat for severe storms, over 700 total reports. These tornadoes of St. Louis, for St. Louis that wasn't spared. We had an EF3 tornado that carved a path through the center of the city, unfortunately resulting in injuries and loss of life. But after the sun set, it was that same supercell and others around it that tracked, causing massive damage in London, Kentucky, now later rated as an EF4. This is the deadliest tornado in the history of the Jackson, Kentucky, Wyoming forecast area. Another EF4 twister hit Marion, Illinois, swiping homes from their foundations. And then the last gasp of this storm system surged into the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast on Saturday, where we had hail reports, more than 140 storm reports as a whole. The largest hail, over 4 inches. That was out a little bit closer towards Oklahoma, with even more storm systems diving into the Rockies, providing more ingredients for the next severe weather outbreak on Sunday. And so then that brings me to the Central Plains on May 18th, where I was making my way into this general area where Arnett, Oklahoma saw an intense tornado. It was that same supercell that later was able to spawn a new tornado into South Kansas as the sun went down. That was the big wedge tornado that we had into the overnight hours. A very volatile day for severe storms, although we had some milkiness to the atmosphere, which delayed some of the stronger tornadoes that we were expecting in that event.
No f***ing tornado. Holy f***. Holy f***. Goodbye, Grinnell. Holy f***.
And an intense moment playing out for 2 Grinnell residents as a tornado swiped through the town. And then that brings me over to a photogenic tornado that spun up in northeastern Colorado. These tall twisters were spotted out in Bennett, Colorado as well. You could even see them as some folks were landing their aircraft. That went viral on social media. Then in the pitch black of night, this monster tornado that I was talking about earlier emerged in Kansas. It was a wedge-shaped tornado only illuminated by lightning. It swiped just to the south of the town of Greensburg, but it was a tornado emergency. This twister approached Greensburg, Kansas, the same town that was wiped off the map 18 years ago on May 4th, 2007, by a tornado that took a very similar track. And honestly, on social media, again, they were comparing those 2 tornadoes and they looked very eerily similar. But thankfully, at the last minute, the twister missed Greensburg, but Plevna, Kansas was not so lucky. Multiple structures in the town were completely destroyed. The storms didn't stop there, though. As the week began, much of the plains, the mid-south, where we had the next round of severe weather. Tornadoes spawning in portions of eastern Oklahoma and once again just south of St. Louis. You can hear the sirens roaring in Fort Smith, Arkansas. And it's that same eerie sight, that feeling that a lot of folks have been dealing with for the last 7 days. As we mentioned at the top, 36 different states feeling the impact of the severe storm. Active day when it comes to those damaging wind and even hail. We've had a very potent line of storms ripping through Mount Vernon, Kentucky, and you can just see their fury heading out through Crossville, Tennessee. Level 3 out of 5 threat for severe storms, but that's still ongoing, and where we'll continue to track out the latest for this severe weather outbreak that we've had that will continue into Wednesday. Listen to what some of these storms sounded like, though, going into the later afternoon and early evening. The wind, the hail. Hail's been a really big thing today with hailstones over 2 3/4 inches. So truly just an intense day for severe weather, especially for central Tennessee. And we're still tracking out tornado warnings that have occurred through the later afternoon, early evening for portions of the Mississippi Delta, and things will continue into early Wednesday morning and heading into Wednesday afternoon as well. And we may be in the heart of severe weather season, but we're also 5 days into the Eastern Pacific hurricane season, and we're already seeing some signs of action. The National Hurricane Center designating an area to watch south of Mexico. This isn't unusual. I mean, obviously, the Eastern Pacific season starts on May 15th, and that's really largely due to the fact that the waters are so warm over Central America into the Eastern Pacific. However, if you compare things to last year, they actually were off to a very, very slow start. We didn't even see that first named storm and the first signs of tropical development until July. First hurricane for this region, we had to wait all the way until August. So if we do see something like this forming, it would be definitely in stark contrast to what we had just last year. Given a low chance of development right now, 20%, so that's over the next 7 days. You can see that early sign of convection moving just south of Mexico, Acapulco, a town that got hit very hard with hurricanes not too long ago over the last few hurricane seasons. The good news is wherever this does go, it's moving away from land. So nonetheless, while we're watching some early signs of development, this is just the first storm that we're talking about for hurricane season, and no human impact to this system is expected for now. At this point, we are still looking at warmer than average temperatures in the Pacific Ocean. That's sort of helping to tell the story of what ENSO oscillation are we in. Are we in La Nina, El Nino, or ENSO neutral? And the transition going into hurricane season is expected to be that ENSO neutral, which then means that ENSO has less of a hold on what the pattern does, and we'll actually look at some other types of oscillations like the MJO to help dictate what these storms are going to do and how strong they can become. For the Eastern Pacific Basin, their average first date of a named tropical system isn't until June 10th. So if it does have a name to this over the next 7 days, we would actually be a bit ahead of schedule. The average date of the first hurricane is late June, around June 26th. Definitely a bit later when you compare things to the Atlantic season. But the Eastern Pacific and the Atlantic, very different in how their hurricane seasons unfold. For the Eastern Pacific, it's this slow climb, but really anywhere from, let's say, late June to about September, really active activity for the entirety of those 3 months. Story when it comes to the Atlantic, where it's almost this stark hill that you have to climb, very slow, and then the peak of hurricane season just feels like a mad rush, and then it starts to slow down. So less of that mountain and more of this plateau for the Eastern Pacific. For the Atlantic Basin, tropical development is unlikely in the next 7 days because we have a decent amount of Saharan dust rolling across the MDR. That is not something that any kind of developing system would want to have, but also the waters are a little bit cool here in the MDR, so we're not expecting any development going into the first day of hurricane season, which would be June 1st. And we're still tracking out strong storms moving to the southeast. You can see one supercell out in Hollandale, Mississippi. We'll be continuing to track out the threat for severe weather going into the next 24 hours with a level 1 out of 5 threat for Wednesday afternoon.
Not only do we have to worry about the tide, but the fact that we will have a storm surge on top of that.
There's a lot of atmospheric energy feeding into the storm.
It's not safe.
Catastrophic storm surge is expected.
The center of the eye, it looks like it's going to go right over us.
Major concern, these areas where they're going to be underwater.
We're looking at the worst conditions that we've seen since it came ashore.
Wind, it's been relentless. It has undergone rapid intensification in less than 24 hours.
Fox Weather is your hurricane HQ.
You may be eligible for a Medicare Advantage plan if you're turning 65, have limited income, or you are moving. Healthcare Medicare Advantage plan could get you some big benefits. Find out how easy it is to get all of your original Medicare coverage plus extra benefits. You could have medical coverage, prescription drug coverage, dental, vision, and hearing coverage. Twill, a digital mental health and social support resource. And here's more good news. You can get a WellCare Medicare Advantage plan with a $0 or low monthly plan premium. How can WellCare offer all of those benefits for a $0 or low monthly plan premium? It's simple. Medicare Advantage and Medicare Part D prescription drug coverage are important parts of Medicare. WellCare has a contract with Medicare to offer and provide these important options to you. Call right now to get your free copy of the WellCare All-in-One Guide. Call 866-452-6624 now. WellCare offers and we make them easy to use so you can support your best health. Call a licensed sales agent to see if you are eligible to enroll today. And call today to get your free copy of the All-in-One Guide with absolutely no obligation. Just call 866-452-6624. Remember, there's no obligation for requesting information. So call 866-452-6624. Call today.
This is continuing coverage of severe weather. Good evening, David Dutton here back in the Storm Center. We're going to break away from WHNT for a moment to tell you about another tornado warning. It's been issued now in Alabama for Coleman, DeKalb, and Marshall counties. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was near Arab, moving to the east at 50 miles an hour. We also have now a confirmed tornado warning. DeKalb, Jackson, and Marshall counties in Alabama. A confirmed tornado on the ground in Scottsboro, moving to the east at 35. Again, confirmed tornado, Scottsboro.
Tornado warning for Georgia.
We have a new tornado warning coming in right now for Georgia.
This is a tornado warning.
And a new tornado warning coming in right now, just in for Catoosa, Whitfield, western Georgia. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was near Linwood or over Lafayette, moving to the east at 25. The warning is for another hour. Again, possible tornado developing near Lafayette, moving to the east at 25 miles per hour. Get to the basement, the center part of your house immediately. Right now, we're looking at Dutton, Sylvania, Rainsville, and the path of this tornado. Confirmed tornado warning continuing for Jackson County, courtesy of WHNT in Alabama. This is headed toward Valley Head, Fisher Crossroads here over the next several minutes. Highway 40, Highway 35, Highway 75 in Jackson County, Alabama. Tornado is on the ground near Sylvania and Rainsville, headed to the east. This is a confirmed tornado on the ground, headed to 55 miles per hour. Eastern America. Storm Watch America. I'm David Dutton. We'll have a tornado watch in effect for northern Georgia until 2 a.m. for north central Alabama until 2 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll likely see a tornado watch added for the entire metropolitan Atlanta area here soon. Now we have another tornado warning coming in right now.
This is a tornado warning.
New tornado warning coming in right now for Anderson, Knox, and Sevier, Tennessee. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was near Farragut or near Oak Ridge, Tennessee, moving to the east at 55 miles an hour. So these storms are picking up speed now. Again, a new tornado warning for Anderson, Knox, Sevier counties in Tennessee. This is in the Knoxville area. A possible tornado.
There are 2 new warnings affecting Alabama and Kentucky.
Possible tornado near Oak Ridge, Tennessee, headed to the east at 55 miles per hour. Now, with these storms picking up speed and going that fast, you could get winds in excess of mile per hour speed. So if this is moving to the east at 55, you could get winds up to 55 miles per hour of any tornado. So be aware of that. Again, basement, center part of your house away from windows, and you should be fine. Do not park up under a bridge. Evacuate mobile homes if you can. Get into a storm pit if you have one. And again, the National Weather Service of Peachtree City, Georgia, is currently issuing tornado warnings and all severe thunderstorm warnings for north and central Georgia and north central and central
There is one new severe thunderstorm warning for Louisiana.
Alabama at this time. The National Weather Service in Birmingham is currently down. The NOAA weather radio does not work. None of the NOAA weather radios work in central Alabama, so you have to find alternate notifications on. Make sure you do that here in Georgia, as we'll have the possibility of overnight.
There is one new severe thunderstorm warning for Louisiana and Mississippi.
Overnight nocturnal tornadoes here from metropolitan Atlanta area to the south and the east. They will be dying out as they leave the Atlanta area, going to the south and east. Places like Eatonton and Macon have a lesser chance of seeing a tornado and destructive winds versus Atlanta and areas over to Rome. But again, right now we have a tornado warning in Georgia for Catoosa, Murray, Walker, and Whitfield counties. And this is going to continue for the next several minutes. Go back over to WHNT in Huntsville, Alabama, as our live team coverage continues.
Listen to question and answer games.
But nobody was going home from these shows a bajillionaire.
After 10 years of experiment, television now takes its place as a new American art and industry.
Off to the east, and it's going to be crossing 59, and it's going to be going right into Valley Head. And then those of you in Fort Payne, right now it looks like the strongest is going to be to your north, unless there's a huge movement change in this. This is likely going to be moving right into Valley Head. If you're watching us in Fife and Peaks Corner and Grove Oak and Geraldine, you are in a tornado warning in Painter. You're still in a tornado warning in Albertville. We talked about this when this first one was issued, and that one's going into Gunnersville right now. That is because of a possible tornado. That is radar indicated. We don't have a confirmation on that one, but still you need to be in your safe spot. We're going to continue to check out our Gunnersville camera, and if we can show you anything of a funnel or a tornado in progress, we will let you know. But right now we have the one tornado warning here that's heading into Claysville, 431, Gunnersville, all the way out toward Albertville. It's coming in from the west. And then we have those of you that live up here in Sylvania, there's likely a tornado occurring right now in Sylvania. So make sure that you are heeding the weather message and you've got that hard hat or that helmet on or that mattress over your head. Guys, I know there's a lot of storm fatigue out there. We've been through rounds of thunderstorms, not only today, but also over the course of the last week or week and a half. And so we're going to just get through this together. We've got just a little while longer. It's 9 o'clock. The tornado watch is set to expire at 10. But if you remember our timeline for News 19, we went up to 11 p.m. just to account for the slowing down of the thunderstorm. So about 11 p.m. if you live in Marshall and even DeKalb counties. Aaron, you're taking a closer look at Lake Gunnersville. Let's pop that up briefly, see if we can see anything.
Yeah, and it's in between flashes here that I'm watching this lowering here off in the distance, and you can see just a little bit of a lowering here off in the distance, and there's not a whole lot in flashes. Pick that up every now and then when you get backlit from the lightning and be able to see some of these features. This is why it's so difficult to see things at night, and why it's so important to just go to your safe place when the tornado warning is issued instead of trying at night. Potentially what we're looking at here is potentially something that may be rain wrapped, and it may also be just hard to see because it's dark outside.
Yeah, that's right. And over Sylvania right now, moving into Stamp, moving over County Road. Tornado warning now here in DeKalb County. County Road 608, Bethel Road, Hammond 137 out toward Bankhead and County Road 89, County Road 611, and County Road 751. So if you live in this general vicinity, there's a tornado coming for you next. So you're next, you're in your safe spot, you're in that storm shelter above or below ground, and putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Again, and just switching back and forth between radar sites. This warning still continues for far eastern Jackson County, far eastern Jackson County as well. So if you're still in section, just give it a few more moments before we give you the all clear, just in case, because the damaging tornado was likely going to be heading right into Sylvania coming from section. All right, so we still have this one, Claysville to Gunnersville, right along 431 as you make your way out toward Albertville. And this general area, this thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. It's going to be moving into Hustleville, and it's going to be moving into Asbury and Painter and Kilpatrick, and then eventually Geraldine and Crossville. If you're in High Point, you're in the path of a potential tornado. If you're in Boaz, this could be crossing just to your north as far as where the circulation area is, but we'll let you know if anything changes on that. Aaron's been keeping a watchful eye on that tornado warning, and then I've also been keeping a close eye on here, this stuff that's going on, that tornado that's likely in progress still across this part of DeKalb County. All right, so it looks like they canceled the tornado warning for Coleman County. So there's Coleman County, the tip, because the circulation is going to be east of that area now in Marshall County. Continuing the tornado warning in DeKalb and Marshall counties right now. The tornado warning in effect until 9:45. And we've had a couple of pictures coming in from Rainsville High School. It might be worth taking a look at the Rainsville camera again at some point. But we're bouncing back and forth between Rainsville and Gunnersville because we have two different circulations going on right now. We have the one going into near Rainsville and north, and then we have the thunderstorm that's likely tornadic here that's in Marshall County until 9:45. So we have a circulation that still continues to show up, but it's crossed into Marshall County coming in from Coleman County. This is likely going to be near or south of Scant City and moving east toward High Point and Albertville. If you're in Asbury, though, and Hustleville, you'll still want to make sure you're in that safe spot. Storm shelter, this is all going to continue to move off to the east. Yes, there's a lot of lightning on this. We don't have our lightning turned on because it makes it hard to analyze our features in the storm. If I were to turn this lightning on, we would likely see quite a bit of that on the radar. So again, that just complicates the analysis part of the radar because it makes it hard to see those rotational signatures. So just wanted to let you know about that. We are still, like I said, still monitoring that area of rotation. That's southeast of Arab. That's going to cross right over 79. South of Gunnersville, at least, is where I'm seeing it the strongest right now. It's still weak rotation, but stronger in sense that I'm actually seeing something now. This is right here, would be in this area crossing 79, crossing right over, eventually crossing right into High Point in Albertville. So those of you in those areas need to make sure you're still staying above or below ground storm shelter and closet or bathroom away from windows. And if you're watching us in Collinsville, you're watching us here in western DeKalb County, you are included because of this rotating thunderstorm that's in Marshall County. Meanwhile, we're still focusing attention on this confirmed tornado warning up here in DeKalb County. This warning is in effect until 9:30, so we have at least about 20 more minutes on this one, and that is because of that tornado we were letting you know that was likely in progress between Section and Sylvania. There was a tornado debris signature that showed up. That's likely going to be now, I would imagine, either over Sylvania or crossing over 59 near Council Bluff and then heading into between Lakewood and Valley Head, based on what I'm seeing right now. Aaron, you have the Albertville camera up, it looks like. Is there anything that we can spot from there by any chance?
Not at the moment. So yeah, it's just thought of this one coming up and seeing if we could see anything, but right now it's hard to see anything at all. So
okay.
I'll send it back to you, Danielle.
All right, so we'll go ahead and let's see here if we can. I just want to check out what cameras I do have available on this map. Let's see here. There's the Albertville one. You just showed us that. We have one in Fort Payne. It's not quite there yet. It's going to be it's going to pass just to the north of Fort Payne. So just checking out those cameras. All right. So Aaron will keep an eye on our camera network. We have other cameras that aren't loaded here in my show. So Henniger, Sylvania, still have the really torrential rainfall going on right now, and then the circulation of the tornado would be crossing near and east of Sylvania and eventually going to be moving into Valley Head as it crosses right over 59 in DeKalb County. And if you're watching us in Eider, this is all moving to your south. And if you're watching us in Stevenson, all of this is to your south right now. If you're watching us in Fort Payne, you're not in a polygon, but you might be if this storm continues to move your direction. The southernmost flank of it that I'm seeing in Marshall County, it's heading into Albertville. East through western DeKalb County. The northern side, if it starts rotating, that would be moving into Fort Payne the way it looks right now. Thunderstorms ongoing in Morgan County. Thunderstorms going on in Huntsville. I'm not quite seeing the signatures that we were earlier. So what I'm seeing just from a radar analysis standpoint is this right here we have to get through. So we still have to get through this in DeKalb County. That's the confirmed tornado in northern DeKalb. Got to get through this stuff that's in Marshall County and down into Coleman County and east. That's the area that looks like it's the most concerning for the rest of the night. But we'll keep an eye on everything in Morgan County and Madison County that we've got going on. We've got weather there too. And if you're up in Fayetteville, you've got some rain in your area and some lightning, but you know, you had that one tornado warning earlier and that was about it so far today. So a lot of this has been occurring here in North Alabama. Have a couple of tornado warnings as you're seeing in Northwest Georgia. Let's focus in here on this one. It's going to be going right over Sylvania into Valley Head, Rainsville. Stay in your shelter. I know I've said that a million times tonight, but you're just too close. This thunderstorm is just kind of traversing your area just to the near and north of you. And then Gunnersville, still in your safe spot. Heavy rain pounding the area, going right over 431, going right over the lake right now. And then you can see here Boaz, you've got a thunderstorm overhead too that's continuing to move off to the east, but some of the circulation that I was seeing, at least from a velocity standpoint and also the shear rate product, was having it go closer to the Albertville area. So right through here is where we have the rotation showing up, where the green and the red are really close together. So this is the tornado warning that we're tracking. That's I don't have actually. The only thing that I have that just came down is that, like at 9:09, DeKalb County Sheriff's deputies say it is bad in Sylvania via the scanner. So that's what we have right now. Bad in Sylvania. So that's the storm that we've been tracking up there. Yeah, that tornado likely going up through their area, through that area, and still seek shelter if you're between Gunner County, western DeKalb County, because you're also in a situation where you have tornadoes potentially going on as well. This is the storm we're tracking right now. Not a good sign for Sylvania. We were tracking that storm as it was coming through section in Sylvania. Rainsville, Henniger, still want to make sure you're in a safe spot. Mentone as well. And I hate to hear all of these reports coming in tonight. Is that a new tornado, or is that the same one? Is that this one? This one, right here. Northern Marshall. That's a new one.
Okay.
That's a new tornado warning that includes
Yes,
parts
it
of
is.
Madison, Jackson, and Marshall counties now. This is going to be for a tornado potential located near Grant, 11 miles north of Gunnersville, moving east at 35. So this is another circulation. This is different. I just saw it pop on. It's going to be for this one right here until 9:45. This is going to be for this thunderstorm that's moving through northern Marshall County right now. And we'll take a closer look here. That's going to be new tornado warning. And that's going to be a thunderstorm over Grant that's moving 11 miles north of Gunnersville, moving east at 35. Hazard is tornadoes. So east at 35, let's go ahead and I'll go ahead and storm track this for you. So if it's over Grant right now, it's going to be moving east at 35. It's going to be moving back into the Langston area. So over Grant and then east at 35 is going to put it in Pennsylvania again.
Yeah.
Langston at 9:27, Bucks Pocket State Park at 9:31, Rainsville at 9:50, Sylvania at 9:52. Sylvania, you just got hit by a tornado. It's heading into Valley Head. You've got another one back to your west, though, potentially tonight. So it's not confirmed yet, the one that's back to the west that just got issued for the Grant area, northern Marshall County. That's going to be clipping parts of Jackson County here over Langston, and then headed into east into Sylvania and Rainsville again. That's going to be this tornado warning storm here. It's going to be for this red polygon right here. I just drew the storm track. Langston at 9:27, Bucks Pocket State Park around 9:31, Rainsville at 9:50, Sylvania at 9:52. That's this one right here, this whole red polygon right here that's in Langston, all the way to Hebron, New Hope, Grant, this whole area. This is another thunderstorm that's rotating, that's moving east. And then we've got the southernmost one that's moving through Gunnersville and Albertville, Hustleville, Asbury, heading toward Geraldine and Crossville. Aroni and Boaz, you are also here dealing with weather. We're going to keep a close eye on you. You are in a tornado warning right now. Looks like the circulation, at the worst at least right now, could be going just near and north of. Then we have this thunderstorm that's continuing as a confirmed tornado warning here as this thunderstorm continues to move east out of Sylvania. It's been moving into Valley Head. It's going to be moving into Valley Head if it hasn't already. Here's Interstate 59. This is the confirmed tornado warning that we have. This also has been extended into Georgia as a confirmed tornado. Still seeing strong rotation in Gunnersville. That's going to be heading toward Geraldine, Fife, and Rainsville. That's going to be, okay, hold on one second. Okay, so I'm getting some new information. It looks like southbound lanes on I-65 between exit 346 and 347 are shut down due to dozens of trees blocking all southbound lanes. So the State Department is going to be diverting traffic at exit 347 to Athens. So just wanted to let you guys know about that. With lots of trees, it looks like, at exit 346 to 347 on I-65. Lots of trees down in the road. All right, that's the latest report I have from just damage perspective. And then of course Sylvania got hit, Killingsworth Cove got hit tonight with damage. And there's likely going to be a lot of damage everywhere else that we've had supercells rolling through. But at least for now, those are the two areas where we've seen that we've had debris. And we were able to track some of this debris on the radar for you tonight. All right, Aaron, let's do this. I'll if you want to go ahead and track that storm out that's in Albertville, that's going into Albertville. Yeah. I'll do this one here in, once you get that cone up, we'll go to you. I'll track this one in southern Jackson County and northern DeKalb County. All right, so here we go. So just a closer look at what we've got going on here. We've got a couple of thunderstorms that are occurring. Let me go ahead and get this thing back up here. And we've got a couple of different areas that are rotating tonight. We still have this thunderstorm that just went through Sylvania and continues off to the east. And that's going to be moving through, like I mentioned, Valley Head. So Valley Head, let's do a closer look here. There's Valley Head, Hammondville, Kaolin, and Bankhead. Those are areas. There's 137, Highway 137, this crossing right over 59 into Valley Head. We gave you that early heads up. So that's that thunderstorm. Aaron's here with the other one.
Yeah, and this is the one near the Albertville area, and this is from the area of rotation. Some times of arrival on this one. Getting to Geraldine at 9:31, it's going to be in Flanders at 9:39, and then Sandrock at 9:47, Dogtown at 9:42, Fort Payne at 9:52, and Fisher's.
David Dutton back live in the Stormwatch America Command Center. It's 10:20. Continuing coverage of severe weather here on Stormwatch America. Thank you for joining us this evening. Right now, in the Birmingham, Alabama area, we have a severe thunderstorm just to the northwest of Birmingham. But right now, the major storms are between producing possible tornadoes are from Dalton to Lafayette, just the northwest of Calhoun, to Summerville, over to Fort Payne, Alabama, and back down into Gunthorsville, New Hope, and just to the south of Scottsboro. Everything's moving to the east at about 30 to 40 miles per hour. In Cherokee County, Alabama, a confirmed tornado warning is in effect for the Fort Payne area. That's Fort Payne, Alabama. Confirmed tornado on the ground, moving to the east at 30. Tornado warning continues for Jackson, Madison, and Marshall counties. Tornado moving east at 35. Tornado warning for Tortuga, Dade, and Walker counties for the next 24 minutes. And that is now a confirmed tornado warning. We have our first confirmed tornado warning in Georgia now for Chattooga, Dade, and Walker counties. A tornado is on the ground. Over Fort Payne, Alabama, and it's moving to the east at 30. So again, confirmed tornado warning.
Severe thunderstorm warning for Kentucky.
For Chattooga, Dade, and Walker counties in Georgia. This is basically along the Georgia-Alabama state line, just east of Valley Head, Alabama, and north of Menlo. It's headed toward Tryon, north of Somerville, along Highway 27 here over the next several minutes. That's one. We're following another one back in the Fort Payne area. Again, really a line of tornado warnings now from Dalton, Georgia to Guntersville, Alabama, Fort Payne south of Scottsboro, Somerville, Georgia, and everything's moving to the east. Tornado watch continues for North Georgia until 2 a.m. A tornado watch is also in effect for until 2 a.m. for north central and central Alabama, including the Birmingham area. Right now we have a severe thunderstorm just to the northwest of Birmingham, moved to the east. Brad Netz is over at WSB TV in Atlanta with continuing severe weather coverage. Let's go to that. We'll be right back.
As this tornado threat is towards the east. Let's expand the view a bit here and look at the other areas that are being impacted. The rotation fairly broad now near Dalton. That's tracking towards the east, but you see the green and the red as tight as it was just a few minutes ago, but still a rotating thunderstorm there near Dalton, headed east towards Chatsworth. Lafayette, you're out of the tornado warning now. Tryon, you're in it. Somerville, you remain in it as well from this storm. And then western parts of Gilmer and Fannin County, not in any warnings right now, but you're under a tornado watch until 2 a.m. We expand the view here. Look back towards the west. We have rotating thunderstorms still in northeastern Alabama. The purple and the red, all tornado warnings. So these red outlines, active tornado warnings in Alabama. The purple, confirmed tornado warnings. That is tornado warning issued for a storm that has a confirmed tornado, and that's what we've been watching here, moving into northwestern Chattooga County. For those of you watching in Rome and Calhoun, this area, this cluster of storms is moving in your general direction. Over the next 45 minutes or so, this risk of tornadoes is going to continue to push into and through. Overall, expect gradual and diminishing as we head into and through the night. But I want to emphasize gradual. It doesn't mean it's falling apart. Unfortunately, we've got some significant rotation, some strong. This one confirmed tornado. So we're going to continue to monitor this. I do want to show just a dip back in or out, so to speak, for a wider view as we go back to the activity. Show this line of storms moving into the North Georgia mountains, back into northwest Georgia, northeastern Alabama, and then across the metro area, we remain dry. Now up towards Knoxville, there's an active tornado warning, and then northwest of Birmingham, and a severe thunderstorm warning. But the real activity, really where the worst of the weather is with this entire system now, is focused in northeastern Alabama and northwest Georgia, where we have these multiple tornado warnings. In fact, right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 active tornado warnings. So 6 active tornado warnings here just in this one cluster of storms. We have tornadoes storm moving into county. Remember again, your safe space. Lowest level of your house, a basement if you have one, is your first choice. If not, you go downstairs. Then you go to an interior room. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside of the building as possible. And then from there, you stay away from windows. So your safe space is lowest level, interior room, away from windows. Look at all the lightning there near Dalton. A little bit out ahead of it, but a strong updraft with this tornadic thunderstorm, and then another strong updraft where we have the cloud-to-ground lightning there west of Tryon, north and northwest of Somerville, near but just south of Lafayette, and that extends back into eastern Alabama. These storms continuing to track towards the east. So let's do some more storm tracks. We'll get an updated look at the timing of arrival of this storm. We'll focus here first on this storm in Dalton. Now, this is technically just outside of the Channel 2 coverage area near Dalton, but I know we got some folks watching this storm moving into Dalton within the next 5 minutes. Storm already there. I understand that. But that's the time of arrival of the worst of the storm with the potential for some tornado touchdowns, 4 minutes or less. And then Chatsworth, about 26 minutes, already raining in Chatsworth, but that's the time of arrival of the severe portion of this storm. Now, the warning has not been extended to Chatsworth yet, but it very well could, and ultimately could go into parts of Gilmer and Fannin County. That's one tornado warning in northwest Georgia. The other tornado warning here between Somerville and Lafayette, the portion of the storm that's been rotating has really been right about here. And so it was over Valley Head, it crossed I-59. We've been tracking it into northwest Georgia, and now we have that rotation here pretty well defined on the radar, although fairly broad. It's there between the green and the red. We've got the winds blowing away from and towards the radar site. Back towards. So here's the storm track, about 30 miles an hour. It's going to take it to about 15. The worst of just north of Somerville, but you're in the tornado warning. You're close enough that there could be some impacts for you. So we're going to keep in your safe space in Somerville. Lyerly, you are not in the tornado warning. The storm's going to pass a little north of you for now. Calhoun, Resaca, and Daresville off towards Fairmount. You're downstream from this storm. There's Rome at the bottom of your screen. This storm is going to pass north of Rome as it moves to the east. There are other storms, though, back into Alabama that will be impacting Rome later into the night. So we have this active tornado warning for this rotating thunderstorm, confirmed tornado moving towards Tryon and right along the northern part of Chattooga County. Out towards the Daresville and Rome, not an imminent threat, but these storms are headed in your general direction. Again, tornado warning in Chattooga County until 10:45. I'm going to stay with you as long as we have an imminent tornado threat. It is important that we bring you this information because, as you know, tornadoes can cause injuries, unfortunately, sometimes fatalities, and of course, some significant damage. So this is a confirmed tornado. This tornado warning expires at 10:45 in Chattooga County to the north and to the west as it continues its track towards the east. So this storm, this is the rotating part of the storm here, just west and northwest of Tryon. Storm extends back into Fort Payne. And we had seen a little bit of rotation here in the secondary part of the storm, a little bit farther towards the west and here, and then back farther into Alabama. Other rotating thunderstorms not into our area yet, but upstream from us and headed in our general direction. So we've got a couple areas we're watching for some rotation. One here, northern Chattooga County, another potential development there back towards Valley Head, where this storm passed a few minutes ago. We also have that potential of some rotation there. Let's compare that to the reflectivity. Yeah, so right about here, where you see this shape, it's not a textbook, but you can see that kind of curvature there. And so when you have a rotating thunderstorm, some of the very heaviest rain gets pulled in that rotation and kind of wraps around in a counterclockwise manner. So we've got that here and then again back towards the west. So this is one of the signals we look at in a rotating thunderstorm for possible tornado development. So we see that in the reflectivity. We've seen it in the velocity mode. So this is the area with the rotation. You see how well that is aligned with the hook. So this additional higher level of confidence that we have the rotation and possible tornado here, tracking right along the Chattooga northern border, and that's going to take it very near or just to the north of Tryon over the next few minutes. All right, tornado warning has been extended now into western Gilmer County until 11:15. The storm that caused the tornado warning to be issued from Lafayette, then into Dalton. And as I've been telling you, these have been holding together. This storm is headed in the direction of Gilmer County. It does include Ellijay, just really right in the city of Ellijay. So east of Ellijay, you're out of it. From the city to the west, you're in the tornado warning. So this is basically the western half almost of Gilmer County under this tornado warning. So I want to do a storm track, Ashley, from this area of the storm with the tornado and where it's headed over the next few minutes. This has been moving at about, is that about 35 miles an hour still with that one, Ashley? Okay, so this one now 30 miles an hour as it moves from Dalton towards Chatsworth in 13 minutes, and that's going to bring it here into, this is about a 30-minute storm track, so that's going to bring it into western parts of Gilmer County in 30 minutes, around 11 o'clock, and then around 11:15, approximately into Ellijay. So this is a early, long heads up for those of you in western Gilmer County, but there's a high level of confidence, unfortunately, that this storm is going to maintain its intensity. Look at all of this lightning, a signal and a sign of very strong updraft with this storm, the cloud to ground lightning there as it tracks to the east. So there's Ellijay, so right through the city. In fact, let's zoom in on Ellijay itself and let's get a handle on where this lines up with the city. So there's Ellijay, there's Highway 76, of course, up into the mountains, but right through the city of Ellijay, right through the downtown area just to the west, and to the west under the tornado warning. Now, where these lines are drawn, you can see it's a pretty abrupt angle, and so the storm itself is not going to maintain this shape, but just kind of gives you a look at where it's headed over the next 45 minutes. So the tornado threat moves from now east of Dalton towards Chatsworth in about 10 to 12 minutes, and then in about 25 minutes, perhaps 30 minutes, into western parts of Gilmer County, and then 40 to 45 minutes into Ellijay is the estimated time of arrival. This is one tornadic thunderstorm, and then there's another, and it's that one that's been moving near just to the north of Tryon in northern Chattooga County. That tornado warning scheduled to expire in about 11 minutes at 10:45, but that's still showing some pretty good rotation. That potentially could be extended and expanded to the east, but right now that rotation is here, just northwest of Tryon, and a second area that Ashley has highlighted here near Valley Head. That's tracking towards the east. Let's do some storm tracks on these storms, these rotating portions of the storms where we have that potential for tornado touchdown. So this one moving to the east about 30 miles an hour or just over. That's 27 minutes from Tryon. That's the storm in Alabama. This storm here is going to pass near or just to the north of Tryon just within the next few minutes. So we actually have two rotating portions of this storm that could produce tornadoes and cause damage across northern Chattooga County. So this is something that's not going to last all night, but for the next few minutes, you really need to hunker down here in northern Chattooga County. From Menlo to Somerville, potential impact from this western area of rotation, and over the next few minutes, the northern part of the county from Tryon, this area where we have the rotation, very heavy rain, the cloud to ground lightning all moving in. So rotation here, and then back towards the west, and all of this is spreading to the east. Farther into Alabama, more severe storms, including another tornado warning between Albertville and Fort Payne. There's Jasper to get your bearings. Birmingham just here at the bottom left corner of your screen. So we're northeast of Birmingham, west of Rome, additional tornadic thunderstorms, and then from Albertville to Coleman to near Jasper, no active tornado warnings, but certainly that's a possibility. But the focus now is on this cluster of severe storms in northwestern parts of Georgia, from moving east of Dalton now, And just a heads up, Ellijay, you're under a tornado warning. The storm not there yet, but the tornado warning in effect until 11:15 because the threat, I expect, will hold together for the next 30 to 45 minutes. So here it is. Tornado warning includes western Gilmer County, including the city of Ellijay, at least the western half of the city, through 11:15, as we have this tornadic thunderstorm near Dalton headed in that direction. And then we've got two other areas of rotation we're watching to impact Chattooga County. So we've got plenty of time here. We're just going to take you through it. We're going to go through this step by step and take you through every step of the way. Remember, interior room, lowest level of your house, interior room, away from windows. Basement is your best choice. Interior hall, bathroom, closet is usually a good choice. They're windowless, and then you got to stay away from windows to get away from the broken glass. So Ashley, let's just take a few minutes and go through all three areas of rotation. We're going to go in close, see the areas being impacted. Let's do some storm tracks into the areas where they are headed next. So we can start here with the storm that's rotating just east of Dalton, moving towards Chatsworth, and eventually to Ellijay. So what we're looking here is the velocity. You see the red, that's winds away from the radar, the green toward. So we've got some rotation back in this area east of Dalton, approaching Chatsworth and Eaton, and moving in towards Gilmer County with this storm. Let's do a storm track on this as it's moving to east at about 30 miles an hour. And as it does, you can see it's moving into Chatsworth now in about 15 minutes, Eaton about the same time. And then we're still looking at a good, this is about a 30-minute storm track, so we can extrapolate that out into Ellijay, and we're still looking at about 40 to 45 minutes from the tornadic portion of the storm to arrive in Ellijay. That means you've got plenty of time to get to your safe space. You can think about where is that going to be. Do you have a basement? That's your first choice. If not, downstairs, the lowest level. Then you go to an interior room, put as many walls between you and the outside of the building as possible, and then obviously you want to make sure you stay away from windows. If you have plenty of time, like in Ellijay, you have plenty of time. Maybe grab a bicycle helmet. Make sure you have shoes on or nearby, because if you are in a home that is damaged by a tornado or falling trees or falling debris, after the storm passes, you go out and there can be debris on the ground, building materials, broken glass. And if you don't have shoes on, obviously you can injure yourself. This tornado warning now expanded into Floyd County and Gordon County until 11:30. So you can see we've got a lot going on here. These are tornado warnings that include Gilmer, parts of Gordon, extreme northern Floyd County. So not Rome, it's just this northern part of the county and into Chattooga County. It's an extension of this previous tornado warning that we've been tracking now for about 45 minutes. So we've got two areas of rotation. One we're watching just north of Tryon, another northwest of Menlo, just about to move across the Alabama-Georgia line into Chattooga County. This storm still maintaining itself, as is the other storm now east of Dalton. And so for that reason, the tornado warning has been extended. And our policy here, because it's so important, we're going to stay on with you as long as this tornado threat stays with us. So right now, we have a tornado warning for this rotating part of the storm. Earlier, we had confirmation of a tornado. It's passing just to the north of Tryon over the next few minutes and headed towards Damascus, Calhoun, I-75 into northwestern Gordon County. So right now, tornado warnings for the counties in the Channel 2 viewing and coverage area: Chattooga, northern Floyd, northwestern Gordon, and western parts of Gilmer counties. And then some of these other communities, like from Lafayette to Dalton, are technically outside of our coverage area, but we're going to continue to monitor those as well, because I know we have folks that can pick up our signal and are watching there. So I want to make sure everybody is safe. But in our area, it is Gilmer, Gordon, Floyd, and Chattooga counties under tornado warnings right now. This new warning has been expanded and extended off towards the east. So the rotation here, north of Tryon, south of Lafayette. We had the storm move through Lafayette earlier, then towards Dalton. That rotation now approaching Chatsworth and eventually headed off towards western Gilmer County and Ellijay. The confirmed tornado warning to 10:45 into Chattooga County. That warning is scheduled to expire here in just a few minutes, in 4 minutes from now. But the new tornado warning, the extension of that now for another 45 minutes or so until 11:30. So we've got rotation here crossing the Georgia border and another area to the north. So let's go in close. Let's update that track because you see here kind of overlapping tornado warnings. Here's one in red for this rotation, possible tornado moving to western Chattooga County. And here's another one. That's the one that extends into parts of Floyd, Gordon counties and Chattooga County for this other area of rotation. So we actually have two areas, two possible tornadoes right now impacting parts of Chattooga County. This one, northwest of Menlo, moving towards Tryon. It's moving at about 30 miles an hour. For the communities near just to the north of Tryon, you have another storm impacting you right now, and the second one coming in about 20 minutes. In Tryon, you should be in your safe space already and stay there even after the current storm passes, because another one, unfortunately, is just 20 minutes away. So between Somerville, Tryon, there's Highway 27 if you live in these areas or nearby safe space. That's where you need to go now. Lowest level, basement if you have one, otherwise downstairs, interior room away from windows. So we've got that rotation there north of Menlo, northwest of Somerville, and another area of rotation north of Tryon. Then we go a little farther to the east. Calhoun, you're in the tornado warning, has not yet arrived. Damascus as well. Dalton, the tornado warning is in effect, but the rotating part of the storm now pushing a little bit farther towards the east near Chatsworth, Eaton, and the next few minutes. Here's that rotating part of the storm, about midway between Chatsworth and Dalton, and that's the storm that is headed into Gilmer County. Now, in western parts of Gilmer County, tornado warnings in effect. The tornado threat not there yet, already starting to see some rain. That's heading in your general direction. And let's take a slightly wider view. I do want to give the rest of us just kind of a heads up in the metro area and back towards the west what we're dealing with. So we're focusing here in parts of the North Georgia mountains and back in through northwest Georgia, northeastern Alabama, because we have multiple tornado warnings in effect now. It includes parts of Chattooga, Floyd, Gilmer, and Gordon counties in our area. As these storms continue to track to the east, we've had reports of tornadoes on the ground in Alabama, confirmation of the tornado that was in Chattooga County, and within this line of thunderstorms, as we expected and feared, there'd be some areas of rotation developing, and that's what we're seeing now. So we've had some confirmed tornadoes and some radar-indicated tornadoes within this line tracking towards the east. Around Blairsville, there's a lot of rain. Fannin County as well, not an immediate tornado threat. Across the rest of the metro area, it was a nice day. It's still a nice evening, warm and dry, but these storms back into Alabama are going to be moving into West Georgia and eventually through the metro area here over the next few minutes. So we've got multiple tornado warnings from northeastern Alabama through northwest Georgia. Here's one tornadic thunderstorm approaching Gilmer County. Here's another. Actually, there's two areas we're watching. Rotation here near Tryon and then back west of Somerville. So two possible tornadoes within this one thunderstorm, unfortunately, and those both affecting Chattooga County. And now here's Rome. Now you see Floyd County on the list here at the bottom of your screen of the counties under the tornado warning. It does not include Rome, at least not yet, because the tornado warning just for this very northern tip of Floyd County. But I want to show you this. There's a tornado warning in effect for this storm in Alabama along I-59 west of Center. And as that storm tracks to the east, it is headed in the direction of southern Chattooga and western Floyd County. And this storm has the potential of holding together and bringing a tornado threat into Rome and the rest of Floyd County. That's take a little bit more time, but you can see that as you extrapolate out into Floyd, potentially Bartow County, where the weather so far has been quite nice. Look back towards Somerville, just to the west. This area of rotation now crossing out of Alabama and has moved into northwestern Chattooga County. So Menlo approaching Somerville, Tryon. We've got one area of rotation passing to the north, another to the west coming on in. So here's Highway 27 in north central, northwestern parts of Chattooga County. Here's Somerville. Let's come in very close, Ashley. As you see these neighborhood streets and the secondary roads, let's pick up some of the other communities and roads if we can. So here's Cloudland, there's Menlo, there's Chelsea Neal Crossing. We've got the green and the red here. So some strong winds over Cloudland. Now, if we query that, we can pick up some wind speeds, but the strong winds, 35, 40 miles an hour or so, moving toward the radar site, blowing in this direction. There we are, 57, so 50 to 60 mile an hour winds, just a couple of miles to the east, blowing in the opposite direction. So these are strong winds in both directions, and when they're up against each other, then you can infer the rotation. Now, the radar, the way it works is it measures winds towards and away from the radar site, but not perpendicular to the radar beam, so we can infer the rotation